Today, October 15th, 2024, for our regular meeting. Thank you to the students who gave us a wonderful tour of the MO BOCES campus. With that, I will call the meeting to order, and we will stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, I know we all just got comfy and cozy here, but I am going to make a motion to go into the executive session to discuss matters leading to the employment, promotion, demotion, discipline, suspension, dismissal, or removal of a particular person or corporation. So moved by Sue, second by Kirsten. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we will ask you to leave and get you to come back shortly. All right. Thank you for your patience. We'll kick off again with the approval of the minutes. I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of September 30th, 2024. Moved by Paula. Second by Sue. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Minutes are approved. Superintendent Anselm, any additions and deletions to the agenda?
We do. We would like to add a resolution to approve administrative personnel, more specifically that upon the recommendation of myself, that the Board of Education will approve the appointment of Jennifer Hummel for the position of principal at Ridge Mills.
All right. So I'm going to make a motion to add that resolution as action item number 6. Resolution will be for Jennifer Hummel for the position of principal at Ridge Mills Elementary School at a starting salary of $100,000 plus contractual benefits prorated, effective October 28th, 2024 through October 27th, 2028. Moved by Sue, second by Kelly. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, so added. All right, board recognition. I think you're taking this one.
Yes, I am. Because you also get recognized. So for those who do not know, and for the audience out there, this week is School Board Recognition Week, which starts October 14th through the 18th. And so we in the district, my teammates and I, wanted to take this opportunity to thank our incredible, dedicated board members who make a commitment to serve our students and our greater community daily. Did you know that all of the work that they do is really volunteer work? From coming to board meetings, from taking tours, from visiting our schools, reading the agendas, and countless of other paperwork that we give them, participating in professional learning, hosting other different events for the community. We just appreciate everything that they do on behalf of students and truly making Rome a home. And so on behalf of the district, on behalf of each of my teammates, we want to celebrate you. And so as a token of our appreciation, we gave you a little bag that goes with Rome colors. It's black and orange. You know, there's not a lot in it for what you do. Is very cheap because we don't have money like that. But in addition... And in addition, we gave you a nice little, certificate. And so we wanted to make sure that you have that as well.
Thank you.
Right. Thank you, Superintendent Anselm and district staff. Ms. Sandy, no public comment. Awesome. All right, back at you.
Okay, back at me really quickly. Did you know, again, October, there's a lot going on in October. We had wellness, mental health day, etc. But October is deemed National Principals Month. I always talk about, you've heard me say leadership matters. And truly, a principal in a school sets the tone for the success of the students and the staff that they supervise every single day. And as a leader, you know their role starts early in the morning, especially those who starts at 7:15, most often goes into the evening and different evening events, regardless of scheduled school days, hours, and holidays. Their duties are too many to list, and the expectations go far beyond the academic success of our students. We usually say that the role of the principal is an all-encompassing career choice with one goal: executing an academic vision for the school. So on behalf of our Board of Education, my teammates and I wanted to take this time to really celebrate our principals for their leadership every single day. If you can click on the picture for me on that link so that individuals can see all of our principals that are currently serving our school district. We have that on the website as well. And this morning, as I shared with the board, we also send them an email letting them know that we value and we see them. And so this is the list of our principals. Okay. Thank you, Carl. Another kudos, I like to highlight various things that are happening in our school setting, because a lot of times, you know, that we partner with various organizations in the community, and sometimes we don't take the time to celebrate the good things. We hear about the complaints, and the complaints are good, and it's good to take the time to reflect on the complaints because it helps us become better, but it's also important to highlight the things that are going well. And at this board meeting, I like to highlight the work of the community schools, the connected community schools. From July to September 30th, 2024, they had about 639 what they call link referrals. Now, you know, they were also a very big staple in the community when the tornado occurred. They were feeding the children, making sure people had homes, etc. So they had a total of 639. And what is LINK? They told me that LINK is a single point of access for connecting students and families to the appropriate resources and services within the community based on their identified needs. Because you always hear me say everybody needs a shoe, but everybody needs a shoe that fits. Sometimes we try to give people resources, but it's not the resources that they need. But these individuals, they look at what students need and families, and they make sure that they get the needs met. I'm sure this will not surprise you that the largest identified need that they address with food insecurity. In September, in our schools, since schools are open, they are part of our schools. I see them every single day at different places, at the high school, the hub. I went to Stroud the other day. We also saw them working, and they have food pantries and all. It's just amazing the level of work that they do. But in terms of social emotional support for our students, they indicated that 9 of our students were supported with prevention, restoration, and de-escalation work, and that all of the 9 students that they serve successfully transition into their classroom setting. And that's great work that's happening. In addition, they have lunch bunch groups, and they conducted that 12 times already. And this is a process by which students are able to name or self-identify, identify coping skills, feelings, and expressions through various hands-on activities. And we know that they are making a difference every single day in our schools. The other piece that I wanted to highlight is the acute intervention. They have another portion of the service that they provide. It's called the Resiliency Project. And so far, they received 25 new referrals this year. And since 2023, they served a total number of 211 students from our district. 31% of those were from the elementary, 25% was from the middle school, and 27% from the high school. So again, we want to take this time to salute the work of the site coordinators, the resiliency team, the connectors. I hear all of these individuals, the central hub team, the delivery team, and Impact Center for being boots on the ground, not only during the tornado, but also in our schools, making a difference in the lives of students and families in our community. So wanted to let you know of the good work. Okay, what's coming up? You know I stay busy. So what is coming up on the horizon? I indicated when I started this role that it is important that we have student voice. And first of all, I'd like to pause for a minute to thank all of the students tonight from Rome Free Academy and Camden, who took us on a tour of BOCES, and all that BOCES has to offer in terms of career pathways for our students. Thank you to the students at RFA. You know I'm very proud. As a superintendent, I'm very proud. And the fact that you were there leading, you were there taking us on a tour and explaining the different career pathways that are here, that was incredible. And that is a testament why student voice is so important and student leadership is so important, and for you to always be at the forefront of everything that we do. I try to spend a lot of times in school, and there's not a week that goes by that I don't go to some schools. Why? Because I want to remember why I'm sitting in that chair. I never want to lose sight of the fact that it is because of you. That's what I'm here. So my team and I, we work on behalf of students. For that reason, talked about student voice and student feeling like they are at the forefront, they are seen and valued. We are going to launch our Superintendent Student Leadership Council. I talked about it when I started, and it's happening. So, my wonderful executive assistant, when are we starting this month?
It's the first day we can so some funds to staff and some of the elementary schools.
Uh-huh.
You know, things like their things.
Yep. Perfect. All of the students will receive an invitation. It's going to be students in grades 2 to 12. All of the schools are going to be represented. Individuals may say, you mean to tell me grades 2? Oh, okay. Yes, they have something to say too. And so it is important that we have representation from every grade level except K1. And also in all of the buildings. Again, amplifying students' voice, giving them opportunities to help make impactful decisions now and in the future for generations of students to come will be helpful. It will also help them connect with fellow students from across the district. And the most important thing is to help them build their leadership capacity now. Obviously, with ideas, suggestions, feedback for improving their schools, that's one of our focus. And we will also... They will be listened to by me and also the team, because we need to hear from students so that we need to know how to make their experiences in our school buildings, in our classrooms, in our day-to-day interaction with them better. And so that's why we're launching that. All right. And also, I always like to give you an update on my 100-day plan. Remember, we gave you an update in August. It's going to be about that time where I give you an update. So October 28th, just expect that I will be giving you an update of the 100-day plan, because I said I was going to put it in place from July through October. And so it is important that you get a sense of what I've done, what I've heard, what we are already working on. And it makes me happy to see that you are beginning to see some of the minor changes. Obviously, big things will come eventually, but it is important that you see what we have done. In addition, why is it important for us to have our Student Leadership Council together is because we will be talking about launching a strategic plan. We wanted to kick it off in November, but as you learn when you start in Rome, there's a lot to do. So we're going to push it a little bit to the new year. But before the new year, what I'm going to do is map out what the strategic plan will look like. And we're going to start with the mission, vision, and values of the district for the next 4 years or onward. And we're going to start with students. So it is important that we have the student council so that we can be ripe as we launch the strategic plan. We start with our student leaders. Okay? And so that is about it for tonight. Any questions? Anything you'd like to learn more about?
Student council, is that like a during the school day activity, or is that after school?
It's going to be after school. Great. Go ahead. You can say it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Any questions? All right. Then we will move right on to our workshop for, oh no, sorry, you're right at the top of the page. New student board members. What's our board member report?
So today's student government is called STAS, and we are hosting a event which we're going to do pumpkin painting after school for about 50 kids. And then we're also having our annual painting the hospital. We paint the windows. So we would just like everyone to know that that's what we're hoping to do. And then Friday, there's a home football game we thought we should let everyone know about. Lily?
There's also senior night, October 25th. So that's the following week.
To the football.
And then last time we told you about Heat Fusion, and we have dates for you guys. It's November 4th through November 8th. We're going to have 3-on-3 basketball, volleyball, soccer, kickball, and dodgeball. And that's all we have for you this week.
Still looking for some judges for those.
I will do it. But my daughter's that I can't do it. Her friend also. Yeah. So I'll ask her. I'm pretty sure she'll be. I probably do like kickball for no more. Probably do get forward that ball, but I'll ask her again. And I'll let you know.
Could you girls maybe send the schedule of which days are the events? If you want to send that to Superintendent Anselm, she can send that to us. We can get your coverage back. Great.
It was right after school, right? Yes. It's to be really quick for so long like that. Oh, yeah. I have to sign as a helper. You know. Good job. Oh my God, I love that.
Right. Thank you. All right. Now on to our budget development process and timeline workshop.
Yes. When we started in the district, one of the things that we asked about is what is the budget development process here? How was it done? And we uncovered that there wasn't a budget development process. So it is important that you know that we believe in budget budget development process. We want to make sure that individuals who are involved in that process understand the process. And we want to make sure that we give you a timeline. And in addition, one of the things that we're going to do this year, because we believe in community engagement, is make sure that Dr. Gonzalez and I, once we start putting the base budget together, that we host different sessions within the community and also in the school community for any parents, any community members who would like to hear about the process and who would like to know more about the budget. So we want to make sure that we build that in. And what I've learned is that our district consists of not only the city of Rome, but various towns and things like that. So one of the things that myself and Dr. Gonzalez will be doing is inviting folks from different towns that we are made up of, because there are town supervisors, there's the city mayor, and so on and so forth, to come to a session so that they can hear about our base budget development so that when their constituents are asking about it, they'll be well-versed in what we have. So it is important that we introduce to you, since we are entering the budget season or have entered the budget season, she's doing her legwork. She can talk to you about the process and where we are right now and what you can expect from us from now on, because at every board meeting, we want to give you an update about the budget. Dr. Gonzalez, our Director of Business and Finance, I pass the baton on to you.
Good evening. So to begin with, we have developed 3 pillars for our budget development. Superintendent Anselm and I decided that we wanted to really concentrate on 3 major things this school year. The first thing is aligning our programs and services with our budget. We want to make sure that anything that we are putting through the budget aligns with all of our district priorities and with our educational objectives. The second thing is making sure that we're being fiscally responsible. Anything that is going through the budget will be something that is required or needed at the time. It will be less about fun type things or things that maybe are not of a necessity, at least at the beginning. And then our third thing is equitable resource distribution. And that's ensuring that each building has exactly what they need. We typically get into this process of giving money to each building just because one building has something, the other building thinks they should have it as well. We're going to take an approach of what does the building actually need and build our budget around that. So the last couple of weeks and into November, I will be meeting with our directors. I've spent the last few weeks meeting with all of our principals at the building level. With the directors, I'll be doing the same thing with them and going over what their budget is for this current year. That way they understand what they have, and that way they can begin thinking about what that process will look like for next year. As I've gone around the last couple of weeks, I've explained to our principals, and I'll be explaining to our directors what that process looks like. And that includes putting a proposal together with their teachers regarding supplies that they need, regarding any other needs that they may have, including additional vacancies or positions that they might need within their buildings. We'll also be looking at if they need new curriculums or whatever. Jen will have those conversations, but those are things that I'll need to know, as well as capital projects and different items that they need in the building, so that way we can start building that 5-year plan. Can go ahead to the next. In December and January, that's when I'll go around to the buildings again, and they will start having those proposals provided to us. Those proposals then will come back to our cabinet, and we'll start going through the cabinet, deciding which of those proposals are things that are meeting our strategic proposal, our priorities, and then we'll decide which of those things are nice to haves versus a necessity. Based on those things, we'll put them into 3 piles. Those things that do not meet our strategic needs or our priorities will be put to the side and probably not reconsidered. But those that are nice to haves versus necessities will automatically be built into the budget, and the nice to haves will be put into another pile. That way, as we go through the process, if we find that we are way below what we're going to receive from revenue, then we can always add in some of those nice to haves. Or if we have a lot of excess from this current school year, we can build that in so that they're still getting some of the nice to haves, but not necessarily are affecting our budget for the 25-26 school year. In February and March, that's when we do a lot of our actual building of the budget. And so that's when we'll take all those proposals. I'll start adding that in. I also start looking at what our contracts currently are for all of our different unions, and I'll build a budget around those things. In most districts, and Rome is no different, we have approximately 80% of our budget is either payroll, insurance, or BOCEs, which are things that we can't necessarily change. So in WinCap, we can actually build a projection based on all of our contracts and based on what we believe will be the increases for insurances and BOCEs. That's typically in February. And in February, we also usually get the government run that the governor puts together for us. That gives us a good idea of what kind of revenues we'll have. And then we'll have discussions with the board about what tax levy they may want to go out with based on those state aids. Throughout this process, we'll be bringing this back to the Finance Committee, and the Finance Committee will then also start looking at what that draft looks like. We'll have conversations about where the large differences are, whether there are increases or decreases in each of those budget codes, and then we'll decide, is that the direction that we want to continue going before the board? Then we'll hear about it. I present typically in February and March, just to give you a draft of where we are with things, both at a revenue level and at a budget level. And that way, if there's questions or concerns, we can try to address them at those times. And then in March is when we're kind of finalizing everything. We go through the process of if we need to eliminate things, we do it in March. When the next governor run usually runs in the end of March, beginning part of April. Then in April, that's when things are typically finalized. We have to start handing things over to the state at that time. We have to, by April 28th, provide the property tax report card to SCD. And at that time, the board would have finally had, the conversations about the final budget and voted on what we're going to go out to the public with. Between April 29th and May 6th of 2025, we have to have the final budget in for voter approval. And that's something that is submitted to the state with the tax levy. Then May 6th to the 13th, that is when we will have a public hearing at the board level. And between the 13th and the 20th, we will go around to different locations. Superintendent Anselm and I have had conversations about possibly going to a couple different businesses within Rome and possibly going to some of the high school classrooms to have conversations about what the budget looks like and what the process has been, as well as going to, as she mentioned before, some of the townships and so forth, and possibly presenting at some of their town board meetings. Then on May 20th is when the actual voting happens. This year, As you're well aware, we were supposed to have an audit meeting tonight that they were going to present to you. So I wanted to provide a typical corrective action plan now so that you know what it'll look like for next year. So next year, knowing that we're going to have the audit coming, we're going to actually begin a preliminary audit in the beginning part of May. That's when we'll call in the auditors. They will meet with me and they'll go through a listing of things that they know that they're going to need for the following couple of months. They will give me a list of some random testing that they will be able to pull from. And that way we can get a head start on it. We'll also have an audit journal entry review where the auditors will come in and look at the entries that we've already done, look at the entries that we typically do at the end of June, and help us write those because that has been one of the larger issues that we've had this school year. Then we'll prepare all of our closing entries in July in preparation for them to come in the beginning part of August. I've already booked them for the second week in August, so that way we're a full month ahead of where we are currently. We expect to have our final audit with them by September 16th. That gives them a full 6 weeks to finalize everything on their end, and the goal would be for us to be able to provide that to the state by September 16th. Where the board then would have approved it, which is what we're going to do here in a couple of weeks. So you can see how we'd already be 6 weeks ahead of where we are currently. Then we would be able to provide the corrective action plan. Again, we would meet with the Finance and Audit Committee, present that to the board for approval, and we'd be able to submit that by November 14th. As it stands, we will probably do the corrective action plan at the end of November, beginning part of December, after I meet with the Audit Committee and the Finance Committee. But that gives you an idea of what next year will look like. So I know I went through that kind of quick, but does anybody have any questions?
I mean, I think probably echo throughout the entire board that we love process, and this is very exciting to just show the community all of the work that is going into really putting these processes into place so that there is transparency both at a board level and the community level around budget, which is obviously a very big topic year to year.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thing out.
Thank you.
Okay. Moving on to our consent agenda, resolution to accept consent agenda that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the consent agenda be accepted by the Board of Education. I move the resolution. Second by Kirsten. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Consent agenda passes. We're going to flip to page 12. And Sue, you want to start us off with finance?
It is a great. That's the one thing is it wants to need a study to study needs to get on anything.
And to approve use of athletic fields for baseball. Whereas the Rome City School District, the school district requires softball fields for use by its softball program, and whereas the Rome Girls Softball League Incorporated, RGSL, owns certain fields known as the John Cost Memorial Softball Complex, the complex located at Bell Road in Rome, New York, the athletic fields, and whereas the school district seeks to use the athletic fields for its softball program for student athletic and educational purposes through June 30th, 2029, and whereas RSSL is willing to permit the school district to use the athletic fields at certain times and under certain terms and conditions as specified in the property use agreement, whereas the school district Board of Education seeks to approve the property use agreement, now therefore be it resolved as follows. The Rome City School District Board of Education, the board approves the property use agreement between RGSL and the school district for use of the athletic fields through June 30th, 2029. The board authorizes the superintendent of schools or his designee or his or her designated execute said property use agreement and take all steps necessary to complete the agreement. This resolution shall take effect immediately. I move the resolution.
Second by John.
I will.
Any discussion?
Two things. One, on the top, it says for baseball. Should we change that to softball only?
Yes.
And two, I'm going to recuse myself for personal reasons.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution passes.
Okay, number 2, resolution to combine with the Clinton Central School District girls ice hockey. Resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education hereby approves the Rome City School District and the Clinton Central School District combining their girls ice hockey for the 24-25 school year. Move the resolution.
Kelly, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution passes.
Number 3, resolution to combine with the Clinton Central School District boys varsity wrestling. Resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education hereby approves the Rome City School District and the Clinton Central School District combining their boys varsity wrestling for the 2024-2025 school year. I move the resolution.
By Kelly. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution passes.
Okay, the next committee meetings. The audit committee will be meeting on October 24th at 2 p.m. at Bell Road. Thank you. Cliff School. 3, yeah. And that's the audit committee. And the finance committee meeting will be this Thursday, October 17th at Bell Road at 3:30. And that's
so October 24th, I will be out of town, but is it possible to do a Zoom? I think we just have to publish my technical location, right? Okay.
Where you at? We can come there.
I will be taking that at the Austin airport.
never mind.
Great. Okay. Thank you, Sue. All right, educational programs. Action item number 1, resolution to approve concert choir RFA music department overnight field trip. Resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education approves the concert choir field trip to NYSSMA Conference All-State Festival in Rochester, New York, to depart on December 5th, 2024, and return on December 8th, 2024, under the coordination of Leanna Grieri. I move the resolution. Second by John. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Resolution passes. Congrats to the students of NYSSMA. Human Resources. Action item number 1, resolution to accept retirement. Resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education hereby accepts with regret the retirement of the following individuals. Sandra Crawford, teacher assistant, Clough Elementary School, effective 10/21/24. And Robert Meza, Assistant Superintendent for Operations and Management, effective June 30th, 2025. I move the resolution. Second by Kelly. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Resolution passes. Thank you, Ms. Crawford and Mr. Meza, for your years of service. Action item number 2, resolution to reinstate civil service title. Resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education hereby reinstates the following position, administrative assistant. I move the resolution. Second by Sue. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Resolution passes. Action item number 3, resolution to approve tenure. Resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education hereby approves tenure for the following individual. Megan Longo, school social worker, effective September 1st, 2024. I move the resolution. Second by John. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Resolution passes. Congratulations, Ms. Longo. Action item number 4, resolution to approve sick leave allocation. Resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education hereby retroactively approves a sick leave allocation of 20 days to Kelly Nash, personal assistant, effective October 16th, 2023. I move the resolution. Second by John. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Resolution passes. Action item number 5, resolution to approve salary. Resolved after discussion in an executive session on September 30th, 2024, that the annual salary for the Assistant Superintendent of Operations and Management for the 2024-2025 school year shall be $159,000. I move the resolution. Second by Kelly. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Resolution passes. Action item number 6, resolution to approve administrative personnel. Resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education hereby approves the appointment of Jennifer Hummel for the position of principal at Ridge Mills Elementary School. We added it. We didn't vote on it. At Ridge Mills Elementary School at a salary of $100,000 plus contractual benefits prorated, effective October 24th, 2024 through October 27th, 2028. I move the resolution. Second by Kelly. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Resolution passes, and congratulations, Ms. Hummel. Awesome. All right. Policy.
Just in town.
Can you turn on your mic?
So we have a meeting scheduled. I think it was November 6th at 3:30 p.m. Yeah. So we'll go over the board docs and I guess initial training.
Assistant has been learning board docs, but there will be some items that we'll take care of, some items that are necessary for us, some policies we need to do.
Two of you just meeting first and then going over, or are you doing it all together?
Nadia will be there. No. Anyone else?
Right. Okay. I just wasn't sure if you were doing it separate and then bringing it to them. That's
Looking forward to it. Thanks.
Miscellaneous business. Action item number 1, resolution to approve agreement. Resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education hereby approves the agreement between Solient and the Rome City School District. I move the resolution. Second by Kirsten. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Resolution passes. All right. Discussion items. We had one discussion item that we wanted to bring forward, which is around school tours. So, Superintendent Al-Sam, I'll turn it back over to you.
Yes, we promise you next year, as you are developing your board goals, the board workshop, we will also put that item on the list. But for this year, we wanted to open up the opportunity to see if you wanted opportunities to at least tour some schools, not all, maybe a UPK building, one elementary building, and of course, both secondary buildings. Because it is important as a board, you hear about our district priorities and our targets, and that we are intentional when you visit to see them in action. And so it's not going to be a dog and pony show. It's really going to be about you spending time in the buildings and then being able to see how the work is being deployed, and have the opportunity to see students and see our staff and see what they do daily. Because it's one thing to hear from constituents about what's happening, but it's another to see it and feel it. So we wanted to open a space. I know time is limited, especially because, like I said, you do volunteer work and you already put in a lot of time. But it is also super important that you see our district priorities come to life in our school improvement plan as well. So just wanted to see what is your interest so that myself and our executive assistant and the principals can really work on that and make sure that you have a good tour and a good visit in our schools.
We'd try to probably after December is when we would probably kick off.
We can. Yep. We can do after December, a total of 4 schools.
Do
we have a day that they should target? And then what time are you're thinking during the day, of course, so we could see the kids?
Oh, for sure. During the day when school has started. You know, for some schools, we start later. So if we're thinking about not an intermediate school, I don't know why I was thinking of anything. But at elementary school, they start like at 9:15, if my memory serves me. So if we're going to go into an elementary building, we need to do a little bit later. But the other schools are fine. Anytime between 7:30, 8 o'clock, if that works for you. We want students in classes and we want to see them in action.
And then just from a time commitment, how long, kind of from a duration perspective?
I'd say an hour.
Okay.
You know, about 30-minute presentation and then 30 minutes to see some things in action that will be selected by the principal and the team at the school.
Does anyone have, is it going to be easiest to just kind of send out?
We'll send out some dates.
Do we want to target, let's see, December, January, February, March? Target like one per month?
Let's do that. Yeah, 1 per month.
Okay.
So we'll identify some dates myself. with the principals and see what will work. And we'll send out some dates for your next packet. Great. Thank you.
Any other discussion items?
Wanted to bring up, I just wondered if we've had any updates at all about Fort Stanwix, being that it's out there.
Oh, but I'll have some news about the other building very soon. Yeah, I'm not ready to discuss that in public in terms of Staley, but we got a call on Friday, and Dr. Gonzalez has followed up with that individual for us. So as soon as we have some more information that we believe that we need to share with you, we'll probably put that on your weekly Friday. It was too soon when we got the call on Friday to give you any information, but I'm getting excited about that other building.
Well, the only reason I bring up Fort Stanwix is because at the time now that the city's beginning their budget process, possibly this might be a good opportunity once again to go back to the city to find out if they might like to take over the building, only because they have more access to grants and other sources of revenue and marketing that they can utilize for the building. So I'm just bringing that up because every year we continue to hold on to it. We're paying excessive
On that, didn't they reject that?
No, the city did not. No, we had a group that was interested, and we decided to take a pause.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Last year, I thought someone had asked the city, and they said no, I thought.
it's always a discussion item.
Yeah. So what Sue is encouraging us to do is to revisit that discussion with our current administration, and we're happy to do that. And we will update you on that other call as well as we do a little bit more research, because we want to make sure whoever's probing about it, that they are legit.
Right. Any new public comment? All right. If there's nothing else, I will make a motion to adjourn our October 15th meeting. Moved by Sue. Seconded by John. All in favor? Any opposed? Have a wonderful evening, and thank you again for BOCES hosting us.